started filming this a little late, but I wanted to film what I eat in a week video. I'm planning some different things, I guess, this week. The thing about my eating in general is that I usually do too much of it, but that might just be what it feels like. I've been calorie counting for a couple months now, and I have noticed a difference. It's not my first time calorie counting, it's just my first time doing it for a certain amount of time. But all that aside, today is a Saturday, which means I'll go to work. We go grocery shopping on Saturdays, so we'll be doing that as well. This morning I went to the gym, and before I went to the gym, I had one of these, 200 calories each. I am not going to be doing the calorie amount per meal in this video. That's too much, and I might not be the most accurate person on the face of the planet, so I'm just not gonna do that. But these are really good. I did not want to have too much for breakfast. I'm not super hungry in the mornings. Most of my desire to eat comes at night, which sucks. But the great thing about working on Saturdays is that I actually get lunch at work. So my lunch is taken care of on Saturdays. I normally do not eat lunch throughout the week. That is not something that I prep. I do meal prep as well, so I'll be doing that tomorrow morning. As you can see, this is our fridge right now. It's eggs, tortillas, cheese. That's breakfast tomorrow. And then condiments, butter, chicken broth. Meal prep is helpful because I can plan exactly so unsanitary. Anyway, I can plan to eat until Friday, and then Saturday, the whole fridge is pretty much free for everything that we get for groceries, and I do not spend a lot on groceries. I tried buying the whole month's worth of food in advance, like some people do. It just doesn't work. Like I love fruit, and fruit does not last a month. I mean, it's starting to with all the stuff that they're putting on it, but even if I did buy fruit for the month and it lasted the whole month, right? I would eat it all in a week anyway. So I have to be careful because I will eat everything in the fridge. Like, I have really bad food noise. I've had a problem with that for a minute. And I've also been talking for a very long time. I do need to get in the car and go to work. So see you at lunchtime. All right. This right here was my lunch. I got my usual from a great spot in town, a grinder with eggs, mushrooms, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. I got this on accident once, and I've gotten it almost every week since. Every bite is heaven, but the last bite is always so difficult. I despise leftovers, so I will usually always finish everything in front of me, even if I'm full. I think this would only be a bad thing if I was doing this for every meal, but it's usually just when I get this sandwich. After work, my husband and I did our weekly grocery shop. I wanted to film a little more than this for y'all, but my husband and I were yapping the whole time. After grocery shopping, my husband treated me to boba from my new favorite Vietnamese place. I don't really eat Vietnamese food, but their boba is on point. Sunday morning rolled around, and I wanted to show you guys a haul of everything we ended up getting from the grocery store. We spent a total of $83.94, which is a little higher than usual, but not too far off budget, which is $80. First up, we got eggs. Yes, I know we already had eggs, and that these ones definitely have some sort of growth hormones in there, but please give a girl a break. I did not need to buy a whole new giant thing of eggs, just a 12-pack to get us by. But I probably won't be getting these again. They're so big. Next up is yogurt. I'm trying to find a good option for dessert or an extra side at breakfast, and these yogurt cups were on sale. I got these, and my husband got the Oikos, which also had their own deal attached. We discovered that he's not a huge fan of Greek yogurt or caramel, so we ended up swapping halfway through the week. I got these wraps for breakfast and dinner, but it was a little inconvenient to work around there only being 8 per pack. I wanted the spinach ones, and I got my husband the ginormous ones because he needs the extra carbs. This cheese is for dinner. I forgot to mention that I intend to make quesadillas. My husband gets a snack along with his lunch. This week he chose fruit snacks. These mushrooms will be chopped up and put into our eggs in the morning. I got lettuce for our quesadillas as well as my lunch on Tuesday. Same goes for these amazing tomatoes. I decided to get store-bought egg salad to make my lunch on Tuesday a little bit easier to put together. I also love not having to make egg salad myself, so I'm excited for this. While I was taking the chicken thighs out of the fridge, I saw that they had leaked absolutely everywhere, which is disgusting. One of the victims of the chicken juice was this package of turkey bacon, which I will be washing off promptly and using for breakfast. The second victim of the chicken leakage was this package of ground turkey, which will be used in our quesadillas. The following things are not super cool or anything, but I got sour cream, high C for my husband's lunches, buffalo sauce, even though I already had some, corn, and mac and cheese per my husband's request. I do our meal prep every Sunday morning before church and have been meal prepping for about 2.5 years now. As I mentioned earlier in the video, it helps me keep my meals in portions consistent so that I'm not eating more than I need to, because I absolutely will. My husband requested buffalo chicken mac and cheese for lunch. He's borderline lactose intolerant, but whatever my husband wants, he gets. Now, I feel the need to disclose the fact that this is not a cooking channel and I am not forcing this food down your throat. If you do not like how I'm doing things, take a deep breath and skip this section. I got a comment once on my old channel where I would occasionally post my meal prep or grocery hauls, and the comment was hurtful enough but also motivational, so thanks, I guess. The commenter said something along the lines of, "This is nothing but a bunch of processed trash, do better." And since then, I've tried incorporating better things into our grocery list. Is everything homegrown and slaughtered in the backyard? No, but I'd say we're doing pretty okay. But if my husband wants boxed mac and cheese for lunch 1 week out of the month, he's gonna get it. Could I make it from scratch? Yeah, but it's still pasta and cheese one way or another, and my husband weighs less than I do, so he should be fine. This was my first time ever cooking ground turkey. I definitely had an interesting time with it, figuring out which seasonings might work, trying to keep it from sticking to the darn pan, and trying my best not to overcook it, since turkey is dry enough as it is. Once I switched from chicken tenders to chicken thighs, I never went back. These always come out so good, even though they leak all over my fridge. One of my favorite parts of meal prep is the produce. Sure, cooking meat is fun and all, but chopping the veggies is where it's at for me. Typically, one would try cutting things as quickly as possible while keeping everything the same size so they cook evenly. However, this is my kitchen and my food, so I can take however long I want. I was a prep cook / line cook a few years ago, and I learned many skills, most of which have been thrown completely out the window since cooking for myself. One thing about me is that I will always snag a tomato if I'm cutting them up. I know some people hate tomatoes, and I completely understand why, but more for me. The only thing about cutting these up is that you can't have any cuts on your hands, or else the acid from the tomatoes will legit burn your fingers off. I diced tomatoes for our quesadillas and cut some bigger slices for salads or my lunch on Tuesday. Next on the microplastic releasing cutting board is lettuce. I am fully convinced that I will never have a cutting board big enough for one head of lettuce, ever. Even when I worked in a kitchen, the giant cutting boards we had were never enough. I store these in a Tupperware with a paper towel on top, then flip it upside down so it gets most of the moisture and is easier to remove. I know you're not supposed to store produce wet, but my husband and I are still alive, regardless of me doing it this way. Here's where my chopping gets a little, chopped, as the kids say. In a perfect world, these would all be perfectly diced, all the same size and shape, etc. Unfortunately, reality strikes hard for these poor baby mushrooms in this kitchen. I really just used the knife with the same precision as a toddler for these bad boys. They're all going to be digested anyway, so who cares? I store these in a glass container, thank you, Mom, because I care about these more than the lettuce. This is what my fridge looks like after grocery shopping and meal prep. It's a tad better than Saturday morning. After meal prep, I made us wraps. Later that day, we went to a car meet that had food trucks, but decided to stop by a local Mexican spot for dinner. I got a burrito with fish, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, black beans, cheese, and chips on the side. Just like that, Monday morning rolled around and it was breakfast time all over again. I have been yapping for a while now, so I'll leave you with some music for a little bit. It is a wonderful day. It is Tuesday and it's actually really nice outside. It's 11:53. I'm just dragging myself to the gym now. You saw my breakfast. The reason I'm not doing breakfast burritos today is because we have 2 8-packs of tortillas and I need it for dinner, so well, at least my husband does. I can do whatever I want. But yeah, so I'm excited for lunch today. I have egg salad, as you saw, and it's been a while since I've had that. I made it a couple weeks ago myself, but I haven't had store-bought in a minute. You know, something that like upsets me now about nice days is that I want to go outside. I want to go on a walk. I want to go on a run. I want to do these things. And it's just not safe. It's just not safe for me to do that where I am, and it sucks. Growing up in a place where it was safe was awesome, but here it's different. And it's not me being vain or thinking, oh, you know, someone's gonna, you know, it's not like that. It's because I'm female and because I live where I live, like anything could happen, whether I'm a dude or a chick anyway. So like, I don't know. I live in a nice area of a not so great place, so it's not as dangerous, but it's still bad. I don't need to drive an armored vehicle, but I should not be taking walks or anything like that by myself. Daytime, nighttime, anytime. So it's a bummer, but whatever. All right, here are my egg salad wraps. Oh, I'm so excited. I don't know why. And then I have, to wash it down, I have my leftover water from the gym. This is my second bottle of the day, so yeah. But I'm gonna eat this and absolutely devour it, so, ooh. Look at that, ooh. Okay, all right, enough. It is Wednesday morning. Rolled out of bed and made breakfast. If you couldn't tell. It looks a little different today because 1, I'm out of my tortillas, and 2, my husband went to work early today, which means he doesn't eat breakfast with me. So I didn't have to like scramble any eggs or anything. I can just do what I want to do. Not that, you know, it matters, but it's easier to just make the same thing for both of us. But when I can make stuff on my own, I prefer over easy eggs. I will see you later. All right, it is Wednesday. I am just checking in. as you saw, I went to the gym this morning. I leave for work in 3 minutes, but I just want to say it feels so good to not have to bring a sweatshirt to work anymore. It is so nice outside. It's amazing, and I'm so grateful. I gotta start learning how to style my hair because this is not a great look for me. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye. Good morning. It is Friday morning. For breakfast, I have a breakfast wrap. There's turkey bacon in here, mushrooms, and 3 eggs that I decided to scramble on the stovetop instead of in a bowl, as I usually would do. And the rest of the almond milk that I had. You already know what I'm having for dinner tonight. However, yeah, tomorrow would make a whole week. So I will record what I eat tomorrow because it's a little different. And I may also record what I eat on Sunday because I might get Chinese food. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't normally eat lunch besides Tuesday and Saturday, but those are also 2 days that I go to the gym. So it kind of balances out, I guess. Hey, so it is Saturday. It is 5:21 p.m. Right now I am kind of prepping for meal prep tomorrow. I have all my green beans washed, cut right there. I'm working on strawberries. I got another 3 cases for $5. Cases, cartons, whatever. They're not the freshest, but I mean, they're not moldy and they're not rotten, so I can't really ask for much more from American produce. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut those up. I got a lot of yogurt, so these strawberries will go in the yogurt. They'll go along with our breakfast. They're gonna go in everything because no strawberries ever go to waste in this house. Maybe tonight my husband and I will be getting frozen yogurt. It really depends. I've kind of been waiting on it for 2 days. The ice cream last night was sort of to make up for my lack of frozen yogurt, but it didn't really hit the spot. Yeah, so we might be getting that tomorrow. I want to get Chinese food. I really do. I saved my money. We're gonna see what we can do about that. I don't know, just eat a little junk along with all the other stuff we eat during the week. I guess my husband doesn't eat as healthily as I do. I don't really eat super healthy either, but you know, every now and then something counts as a splurge. Chinese food being one of those things. I only meal prep for Monday through Friday. Saturday is kind of like a, you know, whatever we have in the fridge sort of thing. I usually have like a plan. So most of the time it's frozen pizza, not gonna lie. We'll see, but I am going to record that. I was not gonna end the video today. I thought you might be interested in seeing what I get from a Chinese place. I don't know. You're watching this video, so you're interested in something. Also, I know I said I was giving up mangoes this year because I can't figure out how to cut them. I'm not saying I figured out how to cut them, but I don't think I'm quitting them anytime soon. I saw a video. It said, I wish watermelons and mangoes swap sizes. I might be on team mango for that, but I do also really like watermelon. But every time I get a watermelon, it feels like there's too much watermelon, you know? I just want you to know that this is a huge deal for me. Look what I just did. Look what I just did. I have never been able to do this. I don't know why. I've always struggled with mangoes, but I've hit a turning point, I think. I want to, but I won't. Welcome to Sunday morning. I've already done meal prep. I did not want to film that again. For lunch this week, my husband has spaghetti with sauce and ground beef. His request. I got eggs, bread, cheese, some more fruit snacks for him. And we have a lot of yogurt now. I will be eating that, no problem. I also got avocados. You already know I got strawberries and mangoes. These are our green beans for dinner. We also have steamed broccoli for dinner as well. I'm not quite done meal prepping for dinner yet. I've got rice that needs to finish, and then I've got 2 trays of chicken. That's fully cooked, but I'm just letting it rest. But yeah, so that's what we'll be eating next week. A lot of yogurt. I'll be about 90% yogurt by the time next week is over. This video isn't over yet. I still have to eat breakfast and dinner, so we'll be doing that. I'm excited. Chinese food after church. I've seen a lot of memes about that recently. Either Chinese or Mexican food after church, and we do both. So this week it's Chinese. This Chinese food absolutely hit the spot, but I ate less than half of it before being completely stuffed. I even went into a food coma, but woke up just in time to say goodbye to you guys. Kinda. Thanks for watching.